A new chapter begins. Nanny arrives at Bly Manor. The carriage rattled along the uneven path. Each bump brought me closer to Bly Manor, closer to the unknown. I was to be the new governess, entrusted with the care of two young children, Miles and Flora. Their previous nanny had met an untimely end, a tragic accident, they said. As the manor loomed into view, a shiver ran down my spine. It was imposing, with its Gothic architecture and overgrown ivy. The windows, dark and vacant, seemed to watch my every move. What secrets lay hidden within those walls? What darkness awaited me? Mrs. Gross, the housekeeper, greeted me at the door. Her face, etched with worry, did little to ease my growing unease. She led me through dimly lit corridors, the silence broken only by the echo of our footsteps. Finally I met the children, Miles with his piercing blue eyes and Flora, her golden curls framing an angelic face. They were beautiful, almost too perfect. Their sweetness did little to quell the unsettling feeling that had taken root in my heart. The silence of Bly Manor isolation and secrets seeped from the manor's walls. Days turned into weeks, each one marked by a growing sense of isolation. The manor, with its sprawling grounds and silent corridors, seemed to close in on me. The children, though seemingly innocent, possessed a maturity that belied their young age. Mrs. Gross, her loyalty to the children unwavering, offered little comfort. She spoke of the previous nanny in hushed tones, her words laced with a mixture of sadness and fear. The circumstances surrounding her death remained unclear, shrouded in whispers and half-truths. The manor itself seemed to hold its breath, its silence heavy with unspoken secrets. I felt a constant presence, watching, waiting. Shadows danced at the edge of my vision and disembodied whispers echoed through the empty halls. One evening, as I tucked Flora into bed, I noticed a strange drawing on her bedside table. It depicted two children, their faces contorted in fear, and a looming figure behind them. When I questioned Flora, her innocent facade cracked, replaced by a chilling coldness. Whispers in the halls, the children and their unsettling games. Their games took on a sinister tone, their laughter echoing through the empty halls. They spoke of invisible companions, their voices filled with excitement and dread. By the old well, their whispers carried away by the wind. When questioned, the children clammed up, eyes wide with guilt. That night I heard a blood-curdling scream from Flora's room. Rushing to her side, I found her sitting up, eyes wide with terror. Fear, like a creeping vine, began to take root in my heart. The children, my charges, were at the center of it all. Their innocent facades had crumbled, revealing a darkness that chilled me to the bone. Were they possessed? Was their strange behavior a manifestation of some supernatural force? Or was I, driven mad by the isolation and the weight of my responsibilities, imagining it all? I confided in Mrs. Gross, sharing my observations and fears. She listened patiently, her face etched with concern. But her words offered little comfort. The children, she said hesitantly, they've always been different. Desperate for answers, I began to research the history of Bly Manor. I pored over old journals and letters, searching for any mention of unusual occurrences. And then, I stumbled upon a chilling discovery. The previous nanny, the one who had met such a tragic end, had also kept a diary. The diary lay open before me, its yellowed pages filled with the frantic scribblings of a woman slowly unraveling. The former nanny, like me, had been plagued by strange occurrences, by whispers and shadows that haunted the halls of Bly Manor. She too had believed the children to be in danger, their innocence corrupted by an unseen force. But her warnings had gone unheeded, dismissed as madness. And then she had died, her death ruled an accident. As I delved deeper into the diary, my own sanity began to waver. I saw shadows lurking in the corners of my vision, heard voices whispering my name. The line between reality and nightmare blurred, and I no longer knew what to believe. One night, I awoke to the sound of footsteps outside my door. I crept closer, my heart pounding in my chest. Through the crack in the door, I saw a figure silhouetted in the moonlight. It was Miles, but his eyes were not those of a child. They were cold, calculating, filled with a malice that sent shivers down my spine. The events that followed unfolded like a nightmare. Flora disappeared, vanishing into the night without a trace. Mrs. Gross swore she saw Flora with a tall, imposing figure. Miles, increasingly erratic, refused to divulge her whereabouts. He stared with cold, knowing eyes, a smirk on his lips. The truth remained elusive. Flora was never found and Miles was sent away. I was left alone at Bly Manor, haunted by uncertainty. The answer, like the whispers, remained lost in the shadows.